What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are having another episode of Panda Talks. And we have, as you can see on the screen, a great person, IvyLeeGaming. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And welcome back, Ivy. How are you doing?
I'm good. Busy as can be. Oh my gosh. Never stops.
Yeah, definitely understand that. It's been, especially with like all the stuff that's going on in the game right now, we've got some crazy stuff, which is really exciting. But I'm really happy to have you here for my second episode of Panda Talks. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting for everybody to kind of hang out and get to know people like you who are a content creator. Maybe people don't watch you. I find that very hard to believe, but it's possible. And also just some other people. So I'm excited to get this in there. So thanks again for hanging out with us. We have another collab that we're actually filming after this on your channel. So definitely go check out Ivy. There'll be a link in the description to her video with me over there. It'll be a lot of fun. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. So I have some questions. We kind of talked about it a little bit. And let's just kind of see where things take us. So why did you decide to actually start playing War?
So I came, like a lot of us, from Raid Shadow Legends back in the day. I was kind of in this journey of trying to find a new game. I was playing a little bit of everything. Nothing was really sticking. Like, I just played a little bit of stuff. And I think at the time that War was really getting promoted, it was like Dragonair, Watcher of Realms, and King Arthur. There was like three games that were very similar to be raid competitors that all looked like they had decent graphics. And honestly, Watcher was the least interested what I was in. Because
Wow.
the tower defense, um, that idea turned me away just by hearing it. And I think a lot of people, that's the truth. And then they play it, they find out it's great. But anyway, so I didn't have any interest in it at all. Like, and I looked at the camp, it looked cheesy. I was like, this looks like the worst of the graphics, and I don't like tower defense, so I don't care. And then I finally got messaged for a sponsorship, and I was like, I guess I'll do it. But then they never replied. They never replied for
Oh,
like months. It was like 2 months, I think, or maybe at least one full month of trying to get them to reply. And honestly, Dragonair views were low. It was closed beta. I was looking for another game. I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll try that game. It's fine. It's probably fine. And so I finally was able to like ping the right people. A moderator helped me, and we finally got them to agree to the sponsorship. I'm like, hey, let's do this freaking deal. I'll probably continue covering the game afterward. I'm looking for a game to cover on my main channel. Let's go.
yeah.
Let's do the thing. They lowballed me really bad. It was really cheap. I shouldn't have even done it, but I'm glad I did. But I'm glad I did
Hey,
because I played it and I loved it. Like it was great. It surprised me. The tower defense style, so to speak. I feel like it was a good blend of like similar gotchas without being the total true tower defense style. That's maybe a
yeah.
little different that I don't know that I would like. And yeah, I liked the game more than I expected to. So immediately after the first impressions paid sponsorship video, I knew I was going to continue covering it unsponsored.
Yeah, that's crazy. I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit fangirling right now. I've actually been watching your videos specifically, other people too, but I played Raid and I've been watching you for Raid. I was actually in your guild in Ace at one point. I don't know if you remember that. But like I've been in almost every game you've been playing. I've been playing and watching you, so this is kind of a surreal moment for me. But Raid makes a lot of sense. Like you said, most people did come over from Raid, so that's a pretty typical answer. I think a lot of the answers to that question is probably going to be I played Raid. I actually decided to play this game because of the tower defense mode, because I kind of go through phases in games where like I want to play this kind of game, I want to play this kind of game. Like, oh, let's play an MMO. Oh, let's play this. And I was in a tower defense game mode, like feel. And so I found this game and I was like, this is perfect. It's a gotcha, which I love, and it's a tower defense. Let's go. So a little bit different story there. I did play Raid, obviously, so there's a little bit similarity there, but definitely interesting. And I don't know about you. I actually just hit day 100 today. How long have you been playing Watcher?
Whatever day since global launch. My account started on global launch, so
Oh wow, so literally right
yeah.
when it started. Okay.
Yeah, I played
Okay.
before. So actually, I started like to do the sponsorship. I started 1 week before global launch to have that
Mm,
first impressions video ready because they wanted us to post it on global launch date. So I
right,
played
right.
on the Forerunner server for like a week or so or something to get a feel for it.
Okay.
And Yeah, and then I made a new account with Global.
That's fair. That makes sense. The Forerunner server is a whole different ball game. Like I got access with the content creator program, and
Yeah,
I
and then I
started
never used
playing
it.
it. Yeah, I started playing it. I think I got to like level 10 or something, and I was just like, I'm never gonna be able to play both of these accounts. Like, there's no way. There's too much going on. And now that they're kind of balancing things out, I think that's probably fine because they're gonna be caught up. We're gonna be caught up pretty soon, I would assume. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's interesting. So you've been playing since global launch. And again, for those of you guys who this is your first Panda Talks, we've talked about this ahead of time. She's okay with answering this question. But how much have you spent on your account or accounts? I think you only have one account. But how much
Yeah,
have you
just one
spent since
account.
then?
I did like a free to play series briefly, but I couldn't keep up with it. I gave that account away.
Oh, no, that's
So
nice.
my main account since Global, of course, day one is the best day to spend. Let's be honest. It's the early
Absolutely.
packs. It jumpstarts your account. It really gets you moving and getting some excitement. I started spending on day one, which was July 13th. I was having fun today, looking up all my stuff and updating for taxes right before our collab. So I know
Ah,
I've spent almost $900.
wow, that's not that much actually. Like
Not
realistically,
less
over
than
the
I
time.
thought, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know in my last video I it did this with one of my guildies, and he has two different accounts, and he spent, I think he said, right around 2,000 on the main, and then a couple hundred, like 400 or 500 on his alt. So like you only doing 900, I was very surprised. I was
And
definitely expecting
I
it to be more.
actually I don't get as many diamonds as people think. I actually had to reduce a bit of diamonds due to a different deal I had with them.
Mm,
So I actually don't get that 30,000 diamonds that people think everybody gets all the time. I don't get
yeah.
that much. So
Yeah, it's
I get
definitely
less
not
than
that
other people.
much. I know for some people, like I know Fasty, for example, gets
Yeah.
the max because he's just pumping videos out. I would assume you probably get more than I do because you have more videos, more views and stuff. But it's really like it's a nice amount, but it's nothing like really game changing. Like for at least for the smaller creators, that is. Of course, this is me
Yeah.
first world probleming everyone. Everyone's like, yeah, but you get more than I do now. So, uh, but anyway, so I guess one of the other things that's really important is kind of like you said you really didn't like the graphics of the game. Has that like changed? Like, do you like the graphics of the game
Yeah,
now?
I think it was the first impressions. I think I watched one video of like Stu or someone playing it, and I was like, man, the character icons looked a little cheesy, and the camp looked cheesy. But that was like a while ago. Like I think
Yeah,
at least a couple months before Global. I don't know if they polished them up or I just didn't like the quick first impression of the character icons. But once you really get into it, I love the graphics. I love the cinematics.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the graphics are solid. I definitely have no complaints there.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because I'm like one of the things that drew me in was like the graphics were really good. Like in my opinion, I really liked the graphics, especially because like in a lot of games, like in Raid, for example, you only see the backsides of the characters like 99% of the time. So in here, you get to see
Yeah.
more of the characters, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, so since we're talking about characters, then who is your favorite character in Watcher? I'm really curious to hear what your answer is to this.
So it's one of my early polls that I always use even more so now. And I just recently got them almost A5. They're A4. I'm excited to get to
Nice.
A5. But Valkyra, I
Okay.
love her. I've been using her so heavily. And then I very early got that A1 as well, which is so game changing with that extra space.
Yeah.
So I was using her everywhere anyway, and plopping like a Soul Day in front of her is just such a good combination. And I've I can't seem to stop using her. Like I'll do something else, but instead of using Zilla2 or Araka, I'll use Velk instead. Like I just keep using Velk in most things. I don't know. I can't let her go. I love her.
Yeah, no, hey, I have a love-hate relationship with Valk because she was the second legendary that I pulled. I pulled Calypso
She was
first,
my second as
and then
well, I think.
yeah, so I pulled Valk after that, and I was like, I'm not gonna use her anywhere. She's not good. And of course I was in that tier list phase because I didn't know anything about the game, right? So everyone was like, Valkyra's not good, and so I was like, okay, whatever. I
You
leveled her
saw
up
it.
and used her. Yeah, and then I was like, she's actually really good. What the heck? And then I, just like you, she was actually the first champion that I got a dupe on for legendary. She was my first A1 champion.
Yep.
And I gotta say, especially in GVG, oh, Oh, she's so good. She's in my best defense. I have a Boreas defense, which I know everyone's probably yelling at me about it, but she's in that team with Isolde to lead, and she does wonders in there. Like even with a +12 weapon, because I forgot to swap my weapon, she was still dealing a ton of damage. Like that's how good she is with that A1 range. Kind of crazy. Um, and then another one, which I think this is a little bit interesting as well, because you probably have most of the champions on your account already. But out of the ones you don't have, which is the champion you want the most? And I guess it could technically be, like you said, for Valk, like an A5. Like maybe if you don't have one that you're like, oh, I really want that one. But who would you say is like the most? If you could pick the champion you were to pull next, what would it be?
I have been saying Ardea. She's a beast. She looks so cool. She's since day one of seeing the Chaos Dominion faction. When I did a read through from the test server when the Chaos Dominion first came to the Forerunner server, and I had access from test server. I was like, she looks amazing, and she sounded amazing just on paper without even using her.
Yeah.
But the more that we see this Boreas stuff, I feel like I don't know if I could choose between Boreas and her. If I had to pick one, I
Oh,
think
because you didn't get
I want both. I
you
never
didn't get
got both.
Boreas? Oh,
I tried. That was my first
dang.
time having bad luck during a 10 times in a long
Yeah,
time.
that's crazy. That's so crazy. Oh man, Boreas, I
Lord.
gotta say, like, I know there's a bunch of people talking about like nerf him, nerf him, nerf him because he's too good. But I gotta say, man, even if they do end up nerfing him, he's been so much fun to play with. Like, I don't even care that he's like that good. I just love everything about his kit. It's just so much fun. That's kind of like how it is for me personally. But so since you talked about 10 times, I actually have a viewer question. I'm going to move it up in the timetable here a little bit because it relates to what you just said. I mentioned in my guild Discord that I was going to be doing a video with you, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and I asked for some people to give me some ideas about like what would you guys want to see if I brought Ivy onto the channel. And one of the things that was brought up to me was what's your philosophy on summoning? Because I know in a couple of videos at least, and some of your streams, you've mentioned you really like to pull on 10x's because you have the best luck there. So I'm curious what your philosophy is just about summoning and Watcher in general.
Yeah, so the same reason I prefer to summon on a 10 times is why I prefer to summon on a 1+1 over a 2 times as well. The pity is the same. You could
Mm-hmm.
still you could have a 2 times event and you still hit 200 or more summons before you get a legendary. There's no guarantee. Like 2 times the rates doesn't mean only a 100 pity, you know? So I feel like I'd rather pull during a 10 times where I'm going to get a hero I actually want or a new hero, which is usually the case, versus pulling in a 2 times where I could still pull 200 and get someone I don't want. You know, I'd rather have the increased odds of getting someone that's either amazing or new. And yes, and at the end of the day, I do have better luck. If I
Yeah.
look at my spreadsheet, my 10 times pulls look like 2 times pulls. I usually get, like, if I pull 100, every time I'm getting 2, 3, 4 legendaries. Like, it's ridiculous during a
Yep.
10 times. I do the same thing in a 2 times, and I swear I hit pity every time. It's just been the luck of my account. RNG is RNG, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
what's happened. So I feel like I'm cursed. Like, it's like a superstitious thing, maybe. But my logic
Maybe.
for the advice I give to others, the reasoning is because of the pity. Like,
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, I'd rather have a chance of getting someone I prefer to have versus just getting a shitty pity out of 2 times anyway. Like, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have that same philosophy for 1+1. Like it's in my opinion, it's the best banner in the game. I
Yeah.
don't think anything could convince me otherwise. The only thing that maybe would come close is if they were to do another guaranteed new banner and you're like one or two legendary lords left kind of thing, right? Because then
Yeah.
you're guaranteed to get one of those last champions. Other than that though, like 1+1 is the best because like you said, it's
It's
2x already.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you do 220 summons and guess what? You would have gotten two. That's 2x the rates, right? That's gamer
Yeah.
math. I mean, it makes sense.
With
um,
less risk of still hitting 200 and only getting one.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it's like a cratch or something, and then you're sad
Exactly.
about it. Which I gotta say, I have been lucky, and I have not really hit a lot of those like bad legendaries. I still don't have a crash on my account. I just recently pulled my first Shamir, and like I'm not even mad about it because faction trials, right? Like I have to have
You're gonna need him
Shamir.
eventually. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like
like
necessary for the
even if
end
he's the
one.
worst champion in the game, like you need to have him until they release more mages for that faction. So
Yep.
definitely been lucky there, and a lot of them have come from 1+1. So I definitely agree with you on that for sure. Um, so I'm currently running Gear Raid 3 because we have this event that's going on. And I really like the gear raids in general as like one of my favorite game modes because there's a lot of strategy involved and I just sit here for hours trying to beat the stages. Like before this video, I was literally trying to beat Gear Raid 3 stage 19 or stage 20 just to try and be able to push a little higher, get a little more value out of this event. But I'm curious what your favorite game mode is overall.
I would say I really like the new Immortal Codex style stuff because it gives you endless time. Like you could just play for hours and work on the same thing, min-maxing and perfecting it, or you could do it once, say I'm good for the week, and set it away and forget it. Like I like that option. I like that maybe I'm busy this week. I barely have time to play the game. I'm just gonna do my best and walk away. And it's if I've already done it before, maybe I don't feel like improving this week, but maybe I feel like pushing it and I just built someone new and I want to test it, or I want to keep working on the same team but trying different artifacts. Like I like that there's kind of this endless testing possibility. As much as you want to play, you can play and
Yeah.
yeah, experiment with different things and try new gear sets, artifacts, combinations, whatever it might be. That makes a
Yeah.
huge difference. It's fun.
Yeah, I was a little worried when we had the first iteration and how it was a daily payout because I was like, this is so much extra work
Oh
having to
yeah,
go
to
in
do every
to
day.
do it every
Yeah,
day. So when they brought it back and it was just the once, like whatever your score is, and at the
that's
end of the
much
event you get
better.
it, I was like, okay, I feel much better about
Yep.
this because, like you said, you can do it as much as you want or as little as you want, and still get
Mm-hmm.
the same value over the period of time. That's which is really exciting because I was like swapping my gear for
Me too. It
everything,
was stressful.
right?
And then you would go do
Yeah,
gold boss and you forget that you
if you
forgot to
forget
put
your
an
gear.
artifact
Yep.
back on people,
I
and
had
I'd be like,
I
where'd
had
I
so many.
fail?
Yeah, I
I
had so
failed
many
so many times.
19k bloods and stuff like. Oh man, it was the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like Immortal Codex, so I'm really excited about the new. I think we're getting the
Yeah, this
Solgadens
news.
boss first, right? The tank
Yep.
one. That one is really
Yep.
exciting for me because I pulled Orem and I really want to try Orem in there and see how well he does.
Oh
But
yeah, I forgot about him. I might want to build him.
yeah, it's definitely interesting. Well, because also like I do all of the training events because I want those legendary skill crystals, so I max them out every time they come around.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Me too.
I'm running out of champions to build, so it's like I need to
What?
build someone. Well, let me rephrase. I'm running out of like the top tier champions to build, right? So like I don't have any like crazy good legendaries that I want to build like comets or whatever. So like last week I built Avalyn because I was like, we have this tank, Immortal
Oh
Codex
yeah, I
coming
thought you
up.
meant with skill crystals. I thought you meant you like
Oh no no
killed
no
everybody. I'm like, how is
no no
that
no
possible?
no 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 to 6 star to 6 star. Yeah. Well, I will say people are mad at me about this all the time because I constantly have like 5 or more skill crystals just sitting because I don't have enough dust, which is crazy to
Oh,
me
you're the
because
opposite.
I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. Yeah, and
Grab
at
some from the
first
shops and you'll be fine.
and help you find. Yeah, right. Like I literally had 11 last week, 11 legendary skill crystals, and then we had this event come, and so I bought all that dust, and I was able to use a ton of
Crazy.
it. I was able to use a ton of them, and now I'm back up to I think like 8 or 9, like something like that. Which here we can actually go check since we're on my account. We'll see how many I'm at. Uh, let's find someone who's like close. Valk, right? I have 12
Yeah, I never
legendary
run
skill
out of.
crystals. Yeah, I have 12.
Yeah.
I had 11, I think. And I just got one today from Guild Boss, so I have 12 legendary skill crystals.
That's
And I just don't have the
insane.
dust. Yeah.
You
Yep.
don't
And
have no skills. That's sad.
well, listen, okay. I skilled her up when I first got her, and then I got Hatset, and I needed
Oh,
to
it
skill
went to the
Hatset up.
worst place. Yeah, you did not get
Yeah,
any on the
I didn't
ultimate.
get any on the
You're still
ultimate. I'm
faker.
so sad. Yeah,
Fair
she's
enough.
definitely gonna be getting it, but like for example, I have where's my
Yeah.
my Valeria here, right? I need 2 more on her
Oh
ultimate for my guild
yeah.
boss. So once I'm done with her, we'll go and start skilling up some other people.
Crazy.
But I need the dust though. I need the dust. Uh, but okay, so we really like Immortal Codex. I really like Immortal Codex too. I think that's very interesting. Because it gives you so much like ability to bring characters back into the meta or allow them to
Yeah.
become part of the meta, like Avalyn, for example. If you don't already know, we have this new Immortal Codex boss coming out. She's going to be amazing. I think someone said she was in like 65 of the top 100 teams on Forerunner, I think was the
Yeah,
number.
it's because the extra block that she adds. Yeah, she
Exactly. So she's really, really good there, but no one really ever used her before, or at least very rarely, right? Very few people used her. So it's allowing people to bring those champions who are maybe not super meta in a lot of places into that. And I really like that. And so I really like that they're doing that, but I want to know, what would you like to see Muton bring to the game in the future? I know we just had that video with MaBucket where we saw a few of those things that are already planning to come.
Yeah, cool.
I'm very excited about that. But if you could pick something for them to bring to the game, whether it's changing something or a new game mode or something, what kind of thing would you like to see?
I actually want to talk about the cosmetic and graphic side of things for this. I figure everyone's going to say what game modes they want.
Yeah.
So I think every single legendary, even Cratch, needs a damn animation. Make them cinematics. Stop being lazy. Go make everyone a cinematic, damn it. That's the exciting part about pulling a legendary. And it's so sad when someone who looks as amazing as Comet or Zealous, look how cool those characters look. They don't have animations. Like, come on. Where's their cinematic? I think that's part of it. And then I also want to see skins added to the game in different ways more. Like, obviously, a lot of games do skins where you can just straight buy them. Or maybe they come in an event where you can buy them with diamonds. Let's say it's like 5,000 diamonds, even a little more expensive to buy a skin. But then the event is gone, and now all of a sudden it's cash dollars to buy it. But like, have a shop for skins. Let people buy the ones that they missed too. Like, I hate that everything sounds like the best ones are going to be locked behind these stupid leaderboards, because we saw that Silas and Vierna. How gorgeous were those skins?
So good looking, yeah.
And you know, one of those is going to be a leaderboard only, and you're just going to be like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, like, one will probably be free.
Let me buy it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it, goddammit. Like $5 or $10, not anything crazy. But let people buy them. They'd probably make a lot more money than they expect.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I play a couple other mobile games, and I'll drop one of them here. I play a mobile game called Marvel Strike Force. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But it's okay, perfect. Yeah, so they have a skin system where they allow you to buy the skin right ahead of time. You buy a pack, and that pack comes with an item, and if you get that item, you get to have the skin at the end of the event. Right? It's a pretty interesting thing, so that spenders can get it early access. But then couple months, maybe like 3 to 6 months down the line, it gets added to a shop, and you can use currency that you can get for free in the game to buy any skin from that shop. Yeah, I think that would be a really good way to both monetize, right? Yeah, you can monetize it so they can make some money, but then also allow for everyone else to get it maybe a month or two down the line for free, which I think would be really cool.
Yeah, I think my idea was more like the Genshin way of like, you can get it cheaper in the beginning and then they add it to a shop. But I like that too. Like, why not if people are excited and they urgently want it, let them buy it, but then let everyone else get it for free with in-game currency later on. If they just decide to save for that, let them choose to save for that. I do like that idea. That would be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways they could implement it, but I do like the idea of bringing the I have to add one more thing, because this really irritated me. I don't do that many summoning sessions on my computer. A lot of the times I do them at work, because I don't want the content, because everyone does summoning videos and I don't really care. I just want the champion so I can build them, because I have, fingers. And so I was pulling and I saw an animation on Boreas Week, right? I saw an animation start and I was it wasn't Boreas Week, it was Leia Week, which is why it pissed me off the most, because it was Livian. No, it was Livian. Oh. And it starts in the water just like Leia's does. And I was like, holy crap, I got it. I can't believe it. And then it was Livian. Please take out the epic ones, or let it play the first time and then it doesn't play anymore. I don't know. It was so triggering, because I literally screamed at work on my lunch break. because I was so hyped that I got a legendary lord, and then it was Livian. It was the worst.
Yeah,
And don't get me wrong, Livian's a great champion, but when you're hyped
There's
for
always that moment of excitement when you see an anime of cinematic. Yeah.
exactly, but there's got to be a way to turn it off or something, because it was so triggering to me. But I do really like the idea of bringing other animations to the game for sure, and I have a feeling that they're kind of moving in that direction, because Boreas came out, Gwendolyn came out, they both had animations. I don't know if Pharisee did or not. I didn't pull him, but I have a feeling that he didn't. Okay, I have a feeling they're starting to do that more going forward, so hopefully they'll come back and add some more stuff in.
In the interview, they said they were going to prioritize the new heroes first, but
yeah,
I don't know. I guess the reality is, like, the new heroes that are new to come to Forerunner, then they come to Global. They come to Forerunner with an animation already. Like, they're kind of prioritizing the new for everybody heroes, I think. Like, as they make them, they're just planning an animation at the same time. But it'd be nice if they did a backlog. I don't know. It's cool. Maybe it's expensive, but it's not like they're hurting for money. Come on.
That's true. That's true. I would say it probably is very expensive. I know that I've seen some stuff where I think it was Mr. Beast wanted to like reanimate a show, and for like a 30-minute show, it was like $10 million or something. So even though it's only like a 10 to 15 second animation, it's gotta be 500K plus, kind of thing. So, but anyways, we could talk about that all day, but definitely I like that idea. I like that you went a different direction, because I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to be like, I want to see this game mode, or I want to see an upgrade in these, rewards or something. So I like that you went a little bit of a different route, something I'm not surprised to see coming from you. You've got a lot of out of the box ideas sometimes. So very interesting. Well, we've been going for a while now. This is a longer video, for sure, but I want to end it with, if you could give literally any piece of advice to any of the players, one piece of advice, both old and new, what would it be?
I guess that RNG is RNG. This is a gacha game. Know what you're getting into, and don't let bad summons make you want to rage quit or just be pissed off. You're bound to have a lucky streak as well, like, I think people get so hung up on the, oh my god, I summoned 50 and I got nothing. Well, you only summoned 50, relax. Like, people get so hung up on like the little bits of summons they do, and they let it like really, really affect them. At the end of the day, this is a gambling type game. It's an RNG fest, and I think people need to enjoy what they got and work with what they got more. And just hope that, maybe this summoning session sucked, but maybe the next one will be better, and maybe you'll be that person that gets 3 legendaries in a row or something crazy. It's gonna happen. It's all over the place, and if you can't handle the stress of that sort of crazy RNG and it not going in your favor, then gacha games probably aren't for you.
That is the truest of true statements I've ever heard when it comes to gacha games. Well, Ivy, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys also enjoyed having Ivy on the channel. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below about what you thought about this type of video. We're still trying to kind of figure out if this is something you guys like. The last one did okay. Definitely could do better. Maybe this one will do better because Ivy's here. But yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all my content going forward in the future. Make sure to check the pinned comment for the collab over on Ivy's channel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.